The funny thing about Disneyland is that it's often referred to as the happiest place on Earth. However, upon arriving at the park, you're bombarded with hot sun, long lines, crowds, and crying children. A trip to the happiest place on Earth can quickly become a sad, frustrating waste of money. And with ticket prices being what they are, spending money for a dismal trip is unacceptable. What if there were a way to avoid the lines, the crowds, and the heat? What if there were tips and tricks to navigating Disneyland that could get you from point A to point B without the frustration of stalls and traffic jams? There are, and I can share them with you. According to Answers.com, Disneyland is one of the 2 most popular theme parks in the world, with its Orlando, Florida counterpart being the other. The park accommodates millions of guests every year, and as you can imagine, that makes the park a tad bit crowded at times. In the 1950s, when Disneyland was first built, and in the years since, shortcuts have been created to help guests get from one place to another in the park without difficulty and annoyance. Most of these shortcuts are known only to locals who regularly visit the park or are stumbled upon by accident. Upon entering the park, every guest is confronted with Main Street USA. This street is lined with shops on either side and is possibly the most crowded area of the park. What most people on the Main Street don't know is that all the stores on either side of the street are interconnected. If you're walking down the street, you can simply go inside the store and continue on your way. Disneyland designed this shortcut specifically to put you in contact with their souvenir merchandise. So, if you have a lot of money and not a lot of self-control, this is probably not the best shortcut for you to take. Shortcut number 2 is a small path that connects Adventureland and Frontierland. This path is at the entrance of these 2 lands and joins them together. Adventureland is home to popular attractions such as Jungle Cruise and Indiana Jones, and Frontierland is home to other attractions that are equally popular such as Thunder and Splash Mountain. Since these areas of the park experience high amounts of traffic, there is a small path that connects the 2 to help siphon off many of the park goers. This helps keep the entrance of the 2 lands balanced and makes the travel between the 2 simple. Another widely unknown shortcut is located between Frontierland and Fantasyland. The connection between these 2 parks is behind the popular attraction Big Thunder Mountain and past the Casey Jr. Circus train. The small walkway also leads you past the famous Thanksgiving turkey that is pardoned by the President of the United States every November. The shortcut takes you from Fantasyland and deposits you right next to one of the biggest attractions in the park. If you're moving in the other direction, it takes you from one of the more thrilling rides in the park to the more kid-friendly areas. The different areas of the park are all interconnected in some way so that there is no need to go to the main plaza to go to another area of the park. So what happens when you get tired of walking around? In an interview with annual pass holder Richard McFarland, he stated that one of the best shortcuts that Disneyland has to offer is the shortcuts in terms of its transportation. The monorail that runs through the Disneyland park was the first monorail train in the Western Hemisphere. While many people don't know that, even less people know that the monorail runs from Tomorrowland to Downtown Disney, a shopping center that sits in between the Disneyland Resort and the park itself. There is a park entrance at the monorail exit in Downtown Disney, so if you're staying at the resort, taking the monorail is a quick and easy way to get you back to the hotel without all the walking. The train that travels through Disneyland has 4 stations, one on Main Street, one in New Orleans Square, one in Toontown, and one in Tomorrowland. The train works excellently for travel in between the locations without the walking, and is a ride in and of itself. While on the ride, it takes you through part of Splash Mountain and through the land of the dinosaurs. It's a nice way to travel and a good ride to relax on. As far as the line goes, there's always a way to avoid the long ones as well. At the entrance of the park from Downtown Disney, there's a board that stays up to date on the attractions that are broken down or have long lines at the moment. There's one of these at the Park Plaza inside the park near the entrance to Adventureland as well. These are good resources for when you're trying to avoid the long lines. Fast passes are available on most of the larger, more popular rides and are also very helpful by allowing you to cut the lines between the times specified on the Fast Pass. Booths are set up adjacent or across from the attractions to allow this. The happiest place on earth is only the happiest if you're happy. If you remember these tips and tricks, I can guarantee that you'll get the most Disney for your dollar. So smile, adjust your Mickey ears, and enjoy your trip.